We're talking about the table on the Shabbat. So if you remember, we already brought down this halakha to do with that before the Shabbat, there should be already on the table, whether it's going to be lechem mishneh and beautiful utensils, and it's even good to have the wine on the table already from the onset of Shabbat. That means right before Shabbat is going to start, you should already have these things on the table. But besides that, it's also that's proper that you should have a nice, beautiful mapah for the Kvod Shabbat, which is a tablecloth for the Kvod Shabbat as well. So it's not only just going to be the entire concept that we mentioned of the tablecloth, but it's a table. Everything should be already set from the before Shabbat. So everyone Shabbat comes in, we're going to actually respect the Shabbat, and then the good angel will say that Bezrat Hashem that it will be like that next week, and that way it will continue. After we finish the Seudah, you should leave some bread on the table, just like the Gemara Masechet Sanhedrin says, Amar Rabbi Elazar, Kol she'enu meshayer pat al shulchano, eno roeh siman bracha leolam. If a person does not leave bread on their table on Friday night, so therefore it's lavdal kafarneh, but there it says it's for everybody. It's just saying anybody that does not leave bread on their table, so they will not see siman bracha. So because of that, what we do is we leave the bread on the table on the Friday night, and that's what we're supposed to be doing in order to have bracha. Now, even though we just said you're supposed to leave bread on the table, you're not allowed to bring a full bread to the table. Because if you bring a pat shlema, which is a full bread to the table, that was the minagim of the avodah zarah, that the komanim, the priests, they used to come, and at the end of their meal, they used to bring another bread, and they used to say, as if to say, this is for avodah zarah. So because it will be for avodah zarah, therefore you're not allowed to bring a full bread. However, though, if the bread was already on the table, right, so then there's no problem. So therefore, from the beginning, if you left the full bread on the table, you can leave it there and there won't be any problem whatsoever. There was also a minhag of Dariz al HaKadosh. The minhag of Dariz al HaKadosh was to leave on the table after the Seudat Leil Shabbat the kos, whether it's the kos of Birkat Hamazon or the kos of Kiddush, whichever one it is, with a little bit of wine and bread in order to always leave that there should be bracha on the table. So that was a minhag of the Arizal HaKadosh as well. And we already know that whenever we're going to come and have the Shabbat, so we have the mapah also, there's going to be another challah cover on top of the challah, because that's going to be just like zechalaman, and there's other reasons as well. So therefore you have the tablecloth which is beneath, and you have the mapah which is on top, which is the challah cover on the top, in order that you should have, whether it's going to be just like the man, that it was going to be on the top and the bottom, the tal, and in the middle was the manah, so too the same thing was going to be with the bread, that we have the tablecloth on the bottom, and then we have the mapah on the top also, we have the challah cover on the top, in order that it should be zechalaman. Other reasons as well, as we already know, is that way we do not embarrass the bread for the kiddush, so therefore we also cover the bread, because technically speaking, mitzad halacha, the bread should come before the gefen. Whenever you have wine and you have bread, the bread always comes first. Here on Kiddush, we're doing the opposite. So in order to not make an embarrassment towards the bread, we come and we cover the bread. But this is just the halachot to do with the table on Erev Shabbat and on Friday night, in order that we should always have beracha, Bezrat Hashem.